Hello you lovely lot and welcome to the beautiful Cudmore Fisheries. I'm on the Edwards Lake today and it's proper hot, you know. I mean, I think spring's on its way. I've just had to go and change my bobby hat for a peaked cap because sun's in my eyes and everything. I can't see, but I will be able to when I face that way. Anyway, I'm waffling again. I do like to waffle. First thing I'm going to talk you through today, we're going to go through a few things today and I'll catch these lovely fishes sort of this time of year, you know, getting a bit warmer and that, and what baits I use. First thing we're going to come to is swim selection. Now, why I've chose this. The reason I've chose this peg is because about £500 worth of fish got put in it about 2 weeks ago. No, they didn't really. No, joking aside. Ideally, with it still being a little bit cold, you don't really want to be in that wind. You want to be, you know, sort of out of the wind on your back, or certainly like a side wind, but up the top end of it. You don't want to be in that cold wind. The other thing is, well, is obviously it is sunny today, so what you don't want is that sun snarled up in your face. So if you come in pleasuring, obviously match dictates obviously where you draw, but certainly pleasure wise, make sure you know you can have a nice comfy day and have a cast around as well. What I've got here, I've got an island out to my right. Now I know for a fact that there's a bar running off that island, so it's right shallow. You're panning in on it, Mark's panning in on it for you. So it's right shallow against the island, sort of like 12 to 14 inches. Then it just runs down to like opposite me, and it's roughly about 4.5 to 5 foot. And then it keeps going down to about the next peg down from here, and then it flattens out for like 6.5 foot all the way. So the fish like to be on this bar. Certainly when it warms up a bit, which it is doing today, the fish are going to be all snarled up in it. I've had a couple of quick chucks already, and I've had 2 carp, and there's a couple been topping as well. So I think next thing we'll come on to is how I'm going to target these fish and what I'm going to use. So yeah, I'm going to catch these fishes and I'm going to show you lovely people how I go about it. Yeah! Okay, so the main bait preparation today, obviously pellets. Now again, similar to the ground bait, make sure it's the first thing you do when you get to your peg, because it'll take a good 20 minutes to get right. Now obviously we don't need loads of bait this time of year. That's where a lot of anglers go wrong. They're like, oosh, yes, carp, F1's feeding machines, let's get it filled in. No, it's just the absolute worst thing you can do. All we need, literally, I've had about 8 sessions out of this bag now. I've just got some 2mm micros. So I'm just going to put a few of them, not even all of them. That'll do me another session what's in there. So literally you can see there's hardly anything in there, less than a quarter of a pint. 2mm as I say. Now at this stage, you know, it's up to you whether you want to put your flavourings in. Me personally, I love this new pellet soap, the F1 Cool Water. I think it's brilliant. Now all I'm going to do, I've got a bit of lake water, I'm just going to add a little bit of this to it. Sort of gives it that nice milky colour, if you can see that. Give that a bit of a mix. It's got that nice aroma to it as well. It does. I think it's personal preference, you know, obviously additives, flavourings, things like that. If you think it works and it's up there, it's stored for you. You know, I've never found it do any harm using them, and I've got complete confidence in it. So, all I want, I'm waffling again, aren't I? I do apologise. All I'm going to do is completely soak them pellets to start off with. Give them a good mix through. Now, if I left that much water on them, there's probably about 1 centimetre more water on than what I need. What I want to do is give them that complete soaking first, and then drain a bit of the water off, just so I've got it, and Mark's going to zoom in a sec, I've got it where the sort of level fill. Now if you make sure, it doesn't matter if you completely filled that tub or a bigger tub, if you make sure that you level fill them with water, they'll be absolutely perfect. So you just need to leave them for sort of 20 minutes, half an hour, and your bait will be absolutely bang on. Obviously summertime when the water's a bit warmer, you want to drain it off after sort of like maybe 2 or 3 minutes or something. But this time of year, just let the micros absorb all that water and they'll be absolutely perfect. And that's pretty much it. So I think you should leave me alone to go and have a brew. Let's go and have a brew, Mark. Yeah! Right, so the fishing's gone a bit hard. I had them 2 quick fish straight away, and then I've had another 3 casts. I haven't had any signs of liners, so I'm going to take this opportunity now, while it's a bit slow, to wind in, and I think I might have fouled up one. But it's only a little babby one, unless it's a bit of a leaf. No, it's fighting back. It's right, you're not going to believe what this is. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. It's a foul hooked gudgeon. Yes! In fact, Mark, get in on this, mate. That's amazing. It's not even foul hooked, it's lassoed. Are you getting in on it? Watch, 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 watch. Look at that, it's lassoed itself. Oh, there's the hook. I'll just do the line like that. It should come out. That is amazing. Come on, my friend, you go back. Right, so set up. Nice and simple. In fact, it couldn't be simpler. First things first, you want a nice soft rod for this. Mainline 0.20. I don't tend to use anything lighter or anything heavier. 0.20, which is roughly sort of £5 or £6. Bang on. Reel size, match it to your rod, so like 3,000, 2.5 to 3,000 size reel. You don't need a big one. Now, on the mainline itself, I've got the lead, nice square lead, so it holds the bottom nice because I'm on a bit of a slope there. It's just on a snap link swivel, and that's sliding down to a rubber float stop. Nice and simple. Then you can see there I've got, what's that, sort of 5-6 inches of twizzled line, and onto that I've got this swivel where I can undo it and then the hook length comes out straight away. There's a few companies do these now. I think these are the Oooosssh ones I'm using. All the hook lengths are sort of like 12 to 14 inches long. Now what I'm using, to put that down for a second, is the pellet cone. Pellet cone's fantastic this time of year because the trouble with the water clarity, when it goes a bit clearer, if you're casting like a method or pellet feeder, when you're using the short hook length, the fish will get spooked off it because they'll be able to see it. Whereas obviously a pellet cone, it just delivers your bait with a nice little package of food around it, but it's miles away from like your lead, or there's no feeder near it at all. So the fish wobbles in like them gudgeons, sees the bait and just nails it. Couldn't be simpler. So we'll do it from the start. So I've got a little 5mm washer on there, and it's important that you match your hook baits to the size of your hook. I've only got a 16s hook on today. It's a Guru QM1. I love them for feeder fishing. I don't use anything else. But I've also got some 7mm washers as well, and also I've got some corn. You know, there's big bits, little bits of corn. If I was using 7mm or a bigger bit of corn, I'd just use a 14s hook. Simple as that. But smaller baits, smaller hooks. So ease on, just on a band. Now you plug these. Basically, all these are. You can get pellet cones, but all I've done is just, you know, the bottoms of pole cones. We don't use them these days, do we? It's all like side pulls and puller bungs. I've just chopped a couple of them up. So I've got two slightly different sizes, and you're just compressing the pellets in. It doesn't really matter how hard you press them pellets in there, they're still going to break out, which you'll see in a video in a sec. I'm sure Mark's done one. So really compress them in, and then you go in through the thin end with a spike, but it needs to be one of these with a little barb, little like gate on, that kind of thing. Go right through the middle, pushing it right the way through, and then you get in the loop of your hook length. Oh, incidentally, hook length, it's 0.16, so I'm not fishing too heavy. A bit fiddly, aren't they? And you're sliding that over, release that. That slides all the way down. Now the reason you put it through the thin end is so that you can just push it out with your little finger. And that's it, done, dusted. So you can imagine that when it's broke down, it breaks out into the size of like, what, 50p, something like that, or the size of a tea bag, hardly anything. But it's just a brilliant way of catching fish this time of year when they can be proper spooky. So as I say, I've got quite a few of these lined up, ready to go. I've got one with corn on, I've got one with a different coloured washer on, but I think we'll go and see if we can catch one on a brown washer. Let's go and see if we can wobble a big carp out. Oosh, he's in. Come and join me a bit then, see how we get on. Okay, you lovely people, a quick tip for you now. So, pellet cone, you don't have to put pellets in it though. What's been working really well for me these last sort of couple of years is putting ground bait in. And obviously clear water, and I've been using my favourite, in particular, the black swim stim, the milled expander. It's fantastic stuff. Make sure you mix it as soon as you get to peg, leave it sort of 20 minutes, you want it overly wet for this, but basically it's just like you're plugging it for a feeder. So I'm just going to get one of the pellet cones, really compress that ground bait in there, give it a big squeeze, and it just lets out a little bit of attraction to show you what kind of size it is. You can imagine that, that when it's all broke down, again it's just coming down to sort of like 50 pence per piece shape, that's all. Your hook bait over it, there's no other food there other than your hook bait, so you know, certainly for the likes of shy biting skimmers when it's proper cold, or F1s, it works particularly well. I've definitely caught more using ground bait rather than the micros, which is what you'd normally do when you're using, you know, sort of the pellet cone. So give it a try, it's been working wonders for me, but don't tell many people, because I don't want them catching as many fish as me. How dare you? Well then, a lovely couple of hours work here actually. It's been proper cold today. I know it's nice and bright and the sun's warm, but literally yesterday this lake still had ice on it, and we've got 5 carp and a couple of, we've had some cheeky hide on the corn. And the thing with them hide this time of year, where we're now sort of like getting into the middle of February, they're really rough, getting ready for spawning, so they'll have a chew in a bit. But yeah, it just goes to show the effectiveness of the pellet cone. I've had 1 on the ground bait, and all the rest have come on the micros. I've had, I think, 2 on corn and the rest on the washes as well. So it just pays to, you know, swap and change and see what's what, see what the fish want on the day. But also only have sort of 2 casts in one spot and then just move, see what's happening. That's how I've caught these. I've had like a couple from one swim, then I've had to move. You don't get another liner. If you're not getting liners, then obviously it means there's no fish there. So yeah, so I think we'll get these returned back to the lake and you know, give it a try. The pellet cone is a fantastic method and it won't let you down. Yeah! Potatoes!